up, you guys? I'm Amber.
And I'm Patty.
Welcome back to the 4th episode of Chromosomes and Chaos.
2 moms, 2 perspectives, and 1 badass podcast. So today we are diving into some myths and misconceptions of what it's like raising our homies with extra chromies, or I think what people think it's like to have a kid with Down syndrome. So some of the crazy things we've been asked or misconceptions.
That we researched when we got the diagnosis. I think that was a big one as I was researching all the things. And some of these did come up, which was very disheartening at the time that I got it. But coming to realize that that's not true is definitely a myth.
Oh, no. And I remember when Addie was little, and she was literally like the community baby, first of all, right? She would go to anyone. I will tell every single person to this day, Addie was the most medically complex of all of our children, but the easiest child. Slept through the night since day one, would go to anyone, loved tummy time, loved her pack and play, loved her swing, chill.
Go
Super
with the
chill.
flow.
Yes.
The most go with the flow kids you'll ever meet.
Friends would ask me all the time, does she ever cry? I'm like, well, yeah. Which kind of leads me to, I think, what the biggest myth is, and that children with Down syndrome or individuals with Down syndrome are happy all of the time.
Right.
So
when I think about the demeanor, like their demeanor is very laid back, chill, go with the flow.
Yeah.
But Pierce has definitely moments where he's not very happy. A lot of them have, if he didn't have siblings, he would be like, this is the best life, chilling, eating Doritos, eating chicken, drinking apple juice, life is good. But you have those pesky little siblings that come up and just, it's mostly Porter and Pierce. And they just go at it. So, or right now, actually, Pierce is stealing Ivy's homework that she brings home because she loves this blue bag, and it pisses her off. And she doesn't get mad at this kid a lot. And he'll hide it in his backpack. He'll hide it places so she can't find it so he can keep it. But then she'll get mad at him, and then he's not happy. He's like, but it's in defense because she's kind of coming at him. But there's just moments where I think a lot of it comes to his communication that can make him not happy because he can't communicate some of his needs and what he wants. But I would say the most he does is just kind of goes, and then he gets over it really quick too, right? But there's definitely days where if we go to an outing and he doesn't want to do it, he's not happy. And you can tell he'll still go with the flow, but you know he's not happy.
Oh, yeah.
And so but Addie and Pierce have different personalities. You know, Addie's very adamant. I think when she's not happy, she lets you know.
Sit.
Yep. So tell us some Addie stories.
I mean, Addie she's fantastic and great. And the older she's gotten, first of all, everybody experiences a wide range of emotions, right? So I think when Addie was younger, she was definitely super chill, go with the flow. But she still cried. Yeah. She still got mad. She still wanted to be fed. She let you know, right? And the older we've gotten, you know, and some of it's like, I don't know if it is just children getting older, but she definitely will tell you when she is not happy. Right. She will, she cries, she screams, she gets mad, she slams doors, she says, space, stop following me. That's the most recent ones. Oh, stop following me when I drop off at school.
Previous
Yes. So right now, when we go to school, we have like a 1/4 mile walk to where, and she rides her bike, and I get up there and I go to give her her backpack, and if I start walking with her up the sidewalk to go in, stop following me. Okay. I'm still going to follow you. Just what? Yep. Me, you.
Maybe a couple steps behind, but I'm still going to be here.
She, the other night or a couple weeks ago, time is elusive. She, at bedtime, I was going into her room to help get her, her CPAP mask on and get things ready. And she's like, no, boys' room. Oh, okay. When she takes a bath or a shower, because we're shower taking now, space. I need my space. Okay. Yeah. Cool. I remember the first time I heard another kiddo with Down syndrome growl at their mom. I was like, yes, solidarity. For the longest time, because Addie would just like, she would just growl at me. And I'm like, what are you growling for? And then I heard another kiddo do it, and I'm like, cool.
Yes. It's all, we're here, and this is normal. This is okay.
It was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I would say another one needs to be like their tonality. Like they have a great tone with you, because it's a whole tone thing. So Pierce isn't really it's just the tone of voice that he uses. I'm like, good Lord. Like now when we have to change him, he's like, you're hurting me. I'm like, we're not hurting you. We're changing your butt. What else does he do? But it's so funny because they just have that. And then the problem is I laugh at Pierce when he says something that's a little spicy. And the other ones are like, you don't laugh at us. If we would say that, we would get in so much trouble.
It's very much
love
like
Pierce's voice and how he's using his tone to like tell me what he wants. It's hard to not be mad at him.
And
but
Addie will be like, no, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I like your words. Don't talk to me that way. Like that tone. It's like, yes, we have a 6-word sentence, and don't talk to me that way.
Yeah. But I think this one, overall, I would say Pierce, like you said, easiest, happiest baby. There's some struggles now, but still, like, I would have 1,000 more kids with Down syndrome because they're easy. But yes, the medical appointments are what keeps it challenging.
Yeah.
Right, but otherwise,
there's all these extra layers to it, but there's something very real and raw and unedited. And I don't know if I've told you my theory. I am really excited to watch this theory play out over the next 10 years. It's not something that's going to be decided. I'm curious, as Addie gets older, if there will be a difference. And for those listening who have older, specifically girls with Down syndrome, I'm curious in your thoughts on this. Because there's a very unfiltered, she does not know the difference between clothing brands, makeup, like what the societal influences, especially that are put on young girls.
Right.
And so I'm just very curious if there will be a layer of, I don't give an F because it's just raw.
Right. I think
if she doesn't like you, she doesn't like you. If she doesn't want to do something, she does not. She sits. Oh my gosh, she just sits. If she doesn't want to do it, she will flop down to the floor and just sit. We were at the ear doctor the other day. Oh, yeah. Before the doctor even came in.
Is this the one you're 30 minutes late to because you thought it was at 2:30?
Yeah, I thought it was at 2:30.
That day was also a shit show because this is the day we had to re-record the whole. And so then she texted me. I was editing the podcast real quick because it was launching soon. And what'd you say?
I said, yep. On par for course for the day. I thought the meeting was, or the appointment was at 2:30. It was at 2:00, but they still got us in. And so we're in there, and Addie has had several appointments. I mean, she is pretty much a doctor, it feels like. So she makes me sit in the chair, and she gets a little ear thing. She looks in my ear. Everything's great. And then the doctor comes in, and she sits. No.
Oh, no.
I don't want to. No. And I have to, bend down and pick her up. Like, we do all of the things. Do you want to sit on my lap? Do you want me to do it with you? Do you want to do it by yourself? There's all these options and coaxings and things. And I go and I squat and I go to pick her up, and Dr. Young is like, see, that's why Mom works out. And I'm like, people think I work out for one reason. I'm like, no, it's because of this right
here. But it is, like you were saying with society, I think even though typical kids, I hope Ivy never wants to put that pressure on her that she has to have the nicest, greatest things. But Pierce doesn't care. He will literally wear the same outfit over and over, dirty, whatever, which I love that because it's brought me back to a space of like, doesn't matter. Yeah. It does not matter. It's not an identity and who you are and all those things. And I think it's going to be really great for our kids, and we'll get into this myth in a little bit, to allow them to understand what makes you who you are.
Yeah.
And but this is a good point too on Happy. Even if we go to the store though, Pierce doesn't want a damn thing. He's like, I'm good. I got my snake. And the other ones, can I have this? Can I have this? And then they throw fits if they don't get it. But Pierce is just like, I don't care. I don't need another toy. We have thousands of toys at the house, guys. And then he looks at them when they're crying. Guys, does it matter? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I love it. They're great.
I do too. So that was myth number 1.
I feel like we can jump right into, there's a myth that having someone with Down syndrome in your life makes it hard on your families and the siblings.
The siblings, yeah. And I think about this a lot in two different ways. So the first way, which maybe a month ago, Ivy said she wishes she had Down syndrome. I want Down syndrome just like Pierce has Down syndrome. Mm-hmm. And at that time, we had a lot of Down syndrome things going on in our life. I think it was the Gigi's Walk. I posted some stickers. I made some hats. We talked about the podcast. Mm-hmm. We went and took those pictures for the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then she was sitting on the front porch and she starts breaking down crying, saying, I want Down syndrome. You love Pierce more than you love me. And it stopped me in my tracks. And then Porter was right there too. And he's like, yeah, you love Pierce. I want Down syndrome too. And it was almost a reality check on myself, because I think it's okay to have those sometimes, to realize that we are very heavy on Down syndrome. Like when I take Pierce to an appointment, the kids think that Pierce and I are going on a mommy Piercy play date. And I can't say it in front of him. This is a therapy. It's not fun, because then you get that one end where he's listening.
Oh, yeah.
And if I keep instilling that to tell them, to make them happy, he's not going to be happy. Mm-hmm. So we try to just have off conversations of Pierce just needs a little extra help. Yeah. I'm taking him to appointments. You guys know when you're sitting there, Pierce goes and gets help. It's not a play date that we're going on. But then on the other side, Ivy is the most empathetic little girl. And she'll spot it when we're out and about. She'll say, that boy looks like Pierce if there's a Down syndrome kid out. And, that little boy looks like he's so little. She realizes things in such just a positive light. And she's always the first to go help another kid that needs it. Yeah. And it's been really, really cool to see. So I see it both sides, but I think ultimately it's going to impact our kids in a positive way versus a negative way.
I know that there are studies and research that has been done about how having a sibling with a disability in your family dynamic has the ability to, you're brought up with a lot more empathy and kindness and awareness for the world around you.
Yeah, awareness is a great word.
The awareness, and I would say just kind of when you navigate friendships and how you navigate life and school and all of those things. And we remind Cooper all the time, and those are things that we just say, kindness is cool, right? And everybody deserves to have a friend.
Yep.
And we talk about differences so much because
some people learn, kids learn at different rates, and some catch on fast and some catch on not.
And there was a parenting fail most recently. So Addie has Hashimoto. Every time I say the word Hashimoto, I want to go, Hashimoto. I just do.
It reminds me of that.
Yeah. So she had to go in for her blood draw for endocrinology. And blood draw days are some of the worst days because nobody likes to get a blood draw. But just how logistics work out, I had to get Cooper first. So Cooper actually came to the appointment. Right. And it was just an awful experience because it was just so happened to be a day that Addie was not on board with getting her blood drawn. And so I pretty much had her in a full wrestling body restraint, and Cooper had to watch that. And so Addie is not happy, and so then Cooper is not happy that this is happening to his sister. Yeah. So then you have to have additional conversations about what he just saw. I don't think he'll be coming to any more blood draws.
If he has an appointment.
Yes.
At that place, he might have some PTSD. Right. But that's the reality. You had to do it. Yeah. And having those conversations with him after that's the important part.
I think parenting is hard, period. Whether 100%. You have a child with a disability or 100%. Not. And I think what some people consider to be easy just come as a surprise. We don't know any different though, right? It's just our normal. Yeah. And so, I do think that it brings you, I try to have those one-on-one moments more, specifically right now with Cooper because he's 4, right? Right. Trice is Trice, and it's a trash bandit, feral raccoon.
They're all, the third ones are feral.
Oh.
I try to say that Porter, I pray to God he has empathy. But he's another breed. And sometimes, are you sure you're my son? Because that's not how we talk. Or appropriate, funny. Or those things.
Is there a thing? It's a third child thing, and the hard part is I was number 3, so then I had to am I?
Right? Are you the problem?
I'm now the middle because, but for 12 years I was the third child, and youngest, but then my younger sisters. But whew, I was like, yeah, it is the third child, but that also means it was me.
Right. That's
My sisters, if you're listening, I know it's my fault. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem.
I think they'll come around. There's very cute moments of Porter saying, "Oh, Pierce," and things like that I see in him.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's too cool for school right now, which
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you don't have to be kind.
Yeah.
He just doesn't go out of his way as much as Ivy does to do things for others. But I think he'll come around.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, it's funny how that all works out.
Yeah.
But Ivy's almost too much to an extent where she's a people pleaser and not a self pleaser. So she'll do what everybody else wants to do. And I'm just like, honey, you do you, and we'll go with it no matter what, so yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, what do we want to talk about next? The one is that, we could just go right into this, how they will never have friends. Because when you were saying families with special needs or not, we're growing up with families that are so inclusive and when they don't have a child with special needs or anything. And it's been so cool to see because Pierce's friend group is the bomb. They are awesome.
Like, I don't even know where to begin. I think Addie sometimes is like the most popular kid at school. We have our community, and I think I said this in the last, episode, we have just an amazing support and community. And every parent wants their child to have a sense of belonging and friendships and things like that. And as kids get older, sometimes the affection that they have changes and it evolves as you get older. But Addie just has some really, really, really great friends. I like to say she has like the Maxes.
The Maxes.
The Maxes.
Even Tyler said that. Or no, my mom.
Your mom.
My mom, she said, I saw Patty and Addie at gymnastics. Yeah. I go, oh my gosh, show up. Were the other kids there? She's like, no, the Maxes, one of the Maxes was there.
Yes, so we had the Maxes, and so our next door neighbor, we've got lots of Maxes. For some odd reason, I think last year there was 5 Maxes in Addie's class. And I have a picture of Addie with 3 of the Maxes, and they were walking her out of school. And I'm like, it's the Max trifecta. But we have Max that lives next door to us. He's a great kid. And him and Addie have been friends since daycare, right? Like, I have pictures of them, and they're just so tiny and little. And I remember we went to a movie one time, and it was a showing of The Greatest Showman, right? And when the person with the disability handed him an apple when he was young, and you could see her face was disfigured. And I don't remember the question that I started asking, and then somebody was being mean, and it was something along the lines of that person was being a bully or something like that. And I was like, is anybody ever mean to Addie at school? And he's like, no, that doesn't happen to Addie. But if it did, I would stand up for her. Oh. And then we have the other Max J, and he's been in Addie's class for a couple years now. And this kid literally waits for the last 2 years, would come up to my car and walk Addie into school.
So sweet.
And so we have traffic changes with construction and all that. So this year, he literally waits at the gate for Addie to come up, and then they walk into class together. And they're just all really great kids. And I remember one time we were going in for conferences, and we were walking in, and a kid that was in like 4th or 5th grade was like, oh my gosh, it's Addie. Yeah. Hi. There's times that we're in public, like, hi, Addie.
In the
like,
mall, at the
hi,
store.
Who are you? I'm her mom. Who are you?
I know, that's what we set ourselves up for with the social media thing, because that's where everyone obviously gets to know them, or just out in the community. But my mom was at the mall with Pierce one time, and she was baffled because she just didn't grow up in a world where social media and social connection and that stuff. And so she's like, Amber, this lady came up, and I didn't even know how she knew Pierce. And then she's like, I follow his Instagram. I just couldn't believe it. She thought it was also pretty cool, though. Like, the cutest thing. I mean, that's her grandbaby. Like, you can't. That's the best thing ever. But yeah, I remember Pierce, because you Google that thing in the hospital, Google things, and you're just like, they won't have any friends. And it's sad because I thrive on friendships. I love connection and friendships. And just thinking that he's going to be sitting in his room all by himself all the time, that's right what went through my mind. I'm like, now everyone else is going to be out doing things, and he's just going to be sitting there with no friends. But I'll never forget, in kindergarten, one of Pierce's good friends, Emmett, his mom, came up to me, And I was always waiting. I'm like, when is our first play date going to be? Or when's the first birthday party invite going to come? Because you just never know. Is it ever? I don't know. And she goes, hey, I just want you to know that Emmett really talks about Pierce a lot and wants to do a play date and invite him to his birthday. So can I get your number? And I was like, oh my gosh, it's here.
Cue all the tears.
Should I hug you? Should I, what can I do? Like, I just feel so happy right now. And then, obviously tears in the car when we left school. And that, Emmett's just been such a great friend to Pierce. And I think that whole group at their school is just all so loving to Pierce. Like you said, he keeps us the busiest now because he gets invited to all the birthday parties. So, I mean, Carter, Addie, Lucas, Henry, we have so many just friends that see him and just want to include him. And he doesn't talk a lot, right?
Yeah.
He's keeps to himself and whatever, but they still go out of their way to like make sure he's always involved. And it's really cool to see.
Lisa likes to tell me that I'm extra, and that's okay. Like, Addie has an extra chromosome and I'm just extra, and that's okay. I'll take that. You know, at the beginning of each year, and I know it's kind of done for lots of parents in the disability community, you know, and I write a little parent letter and it says, you know, hi, you know, we're really excited for Addie to be in your child's class. You know, this is who she is. These are the things she loves. She also has Down syndrome, but she loves what most typical 8-year-olds love. And that I'm hard to offend, and I'm here if you have questions. If your child comes home and talks to you about maybe why she has a helper in the class, or why she doesn't talk a lot, or Addie language is what they say. Sometimes it's hard when Addie speaks, but Miss Joan can speak Addie language. I'm like, yes, Miss Joan can very well.
We just need one person to speak their language, then all is well.
And so, you know, and I try to just open that door for conversation because kids are naturally curious. They ask questions, and I welcome those questions. I don't ever want people to shy away from like, oh, I can't ask that question. Yes, you can, because kids are curious. And when you have that conversation, then they understand and they know and they're aware. And it's easier to say, you know, for explaining it to your kid, it can be, you know, Addie just needs some extra help to learn and speak and do. And to the parents, you know, you can say it's because she has hypotonia. And, you know, we're working in X, Y, and Z.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying they have just an extra chromosome. I think just the more real we can be with our kids instead of trying to cover something up in a positive light, obviously. But I would love to get that from you, and we can clip it to this YouTube channel. Like, you can do files. So send me
all the things I don't know.
I think we can. But I think that would be very beneficial, and people listening might want that. So, because you do it at the beginning of every year, so she'll send it to the teacher, or you send it to.
I usually give it to the teacher and then put it in an email before open house, and so it's just available. And then I also do like an about me for her new teachers, like what are my strengths, what are my challenges, what am I working on, how do I respond? You know, I'm at my best when it's a first then, or I struggle with transitioning without prompting, you know, things like that. My last point when it comes to like friendships is the other really great and unique thing is that because of our kiddos and that extra chromosome, it has brought friends into my life, right? Like the friendships that are forged with the parents and the moms and their kiddos, right? Addie and Pierce will be friends for life. You know what I mean? And Quinn and Aileen and Landon and Liam and Merrick and just all of the kiddos, you know, that has been such a great experience to meet other people as well.
I know in some of these cities, states, they don't have the GGs. And that I honestly think eventually I feel like our social media would have came around to each other. But some of these parents that aren't as heavily involved on social media, it's like, how would they know these kids are around too? Because in these big cities, they don't have those GGs to kind of bring everyone together. That's where we all started. Now we're getting busier, so our lives are just busier, but we're still so connected because of GGs. So every state, every city needs a GG's Playhouse.
Absolutely.
It's the best.
What do we got next?
You must be so special. Should we do that one?
You're so special. You're so pretty. No. I would get that one a lot. You know, gosh, I remember when we announced it, and I did have friends that did say, like, I can't think of a better mom, I can't think of a better couple for Addie to be born to, right? And I can appreciate that because the people that they were coming from are close friends, like, have watched me navigate things throughout my life, right? So they know that I will be a huge advocate, right? A fierce mom, you know, that I will forge a path if I have to make sure that Addie is in environments and has a sense of belonging and I do my best to make sure that she can thrive in environments that were not built for her, right? I think the blanket statement of like, you're so special, there is nothing special about us. And the thing is that you would do the exact same thing we're doing if you were put in the situation.
And I would say I was so probably passive before having a kid and really having to advocate.
Yeah.
But it just set me into that role to be an advocate for him because that's, again, it's just what you do. I don't know what life's like not to have a kid without any extra help, right? So it's just one of those things. We're not, and again, I think people mean it in such a positive way because they just look at us and all the things we have to do, and then all the other things
can never do
we
that.
have to do.
But
you could, yeah,
you could,
yep. And we just do it because we just
do
got it
when you're in it.
Yeah, we already talked about this. We don't like to sit and do nothing.
No, I'm not a sitter. My friend in a group text message one time was like, "Patty, do you ever sit and do nothing?" And my response to her was like, how long do I have to do nothing for it to be considered doing? Yeah. Like, and she's like, that just answered my question. Like, how long do I have to sit before it's considered doing nothing?
Yeah.
Like, how long do I have to do this to prove to you that I can, but I don't want to?
So the answer is I just can't sit.
I just can't. Right.
Yeah. But it's not, we just do it because we gotta.
What's that saying? Oh gosh. I don't know, but it's like, people always say like, oh, what, like, God only gives, what is it, like, special kids to special people or something like along those lines. And sometimes I just want to be like, well, what does God think about you? Right. I'm joking. I'm very much so joking. But it's like, because you would do it.
You would.
You could
100%.
do this. Like, nobody asks for it. You know, but when presented, you're like, okay, cool. We can do this. Yeah. Let's go.
And it's almost like a challenge sometimes. I kind of, in a sense,
yeah,
like getting coverage for his medical appointments. It's draining but I'm so passionate about it to be like my kid.
So when you get the denial letter, you're like, ooh, you have not heard the last of me on this denial.
And then just be nice. Kindness, kindness, be kind, be kind. I give myself some pep talks that it's not the receptionist's fault. It's the whole healthcare.
Insurance, I'm sure we could probably go on for a tangent for a long time. I remember when Addie had her G-tube, right? And so the insurance covered the button.
Okay.
The insurance covered the liquid that she had to have, but insurance did not cover the gravity bag that we needed to administer the liquid to the tube.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Last month, we got the letter for her waiver assessment the day after it was scheduled.
Which that's a whole nother podcast I want to do is waivers and stuff because I think it's very informative and there's a lot to that a lot of people don't know about. But we'll save that for another episode.
All right, we got one more. I think.
All right. The last one is they will never be independent.
Whew. I remember, I feel like I say I remember all the time, I do. There was the very first Gigi's Playhouse that gala that I went to. And you know what? I can't think of her last name, Karen.
It's Karen, I know her,
Yes.
So good.
She's amazing. And I just remember, and Addie was one, right? And so, you know, she has done a lot of things, and not saying that you have to do a lot of things, but you know, she runs her own business and went to college, has a degree, has swam the English Channel, like all of these things, right? And it just reminds you and reignites that fire of our kids can do whatever they want. Just recently, every year we do a fundraiser with Ruby's Rainbow, and this is the second year in a row that we have been able to present a scholarship to Ruby's Rainbow Rockin' recipient for higher education. And so this year we met with Parker, and Parker's a junior at the University of Iowa.
That's awesome.
Go Hawkeyes.
Just for you, Parker. Go Hawkeyes. Otherwise, everyone else, go Big Red.
Yeah. And he's in the REACH program and has his own apartment and takes public transportation and
awesome.
like all of these things. And so I remember when we were having a conversation, and I remember looking at Lisa, and she's just like shaking her head, like listening to all of these things. I'm like, what? She goes, no, Addie's not going to live somewhere else. And I'm just like, she has so much independence and is so fierce and sassy. Like, I bet you she will. And if she wants to, awesome. And if she doesn't, great. Like, you'll live with us, and that's okay.
Right. And I think we look at it 50-50. Do we want independence for our kids? Yeah. Do our kids want independence for themselves? To some extent. I mean, Pierce could probably, if I made him chicken nuggets for the rest of his life, he would.
We make me chicken nuggets for the rest of his life.
Come on over.
Perfect.
Dinner's at 5:30.
Perfect. You have early dinners.
No, it depends. It totally depends on
yeah.
me. But for Pierce, it's usually, I mean.
But they also just passed a policy code here locally about like auxiliary unit dwellings. Mm-hmm. So you can always build something in your backyard.
Which is so cool. And back in the day, they didn't have that.
It's still a form of independence. You can have yours.
Right.
You know. And
Tyler's goal would be to live out in the farm, out in the country, and then we could build Pierce's own little house. But as parents, you can't be a one-way street of they're going to live by themselves in town, wherever, or one-way street of they're going to live with us for the rest of their life. You just got to take it year to year and be like, where's their independence coming along? Like right now, Pierce relies on us for a lot of things. He's not as independent as Addie. Not to say that he can't ever be. I mean, we have athletes at the gym that train that have Down syndrome. Fully independent. They live on their own. They take rides to the gym. They make their own schedule. They're the freaking busiest people I know.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm like, they have the independence, and that's so motivating, like Karen's story was. Now, do our kids have to be as independent, do as many things as amazing things as Karen? Not necessarily. Doesn't mean we got to limit them. No. But they can also just live really independent lives without us, and it's really cool to see the opportunities that people have now. Even in town, I mean, they have complexes, apartment complexes, condos that you can buy.
Liberty Landing.
Yeah, Liberty Landing. You can buy one of those condos, and is there RAs in there, kind of like RAs and stuff that kind of, not, it still gives them the independence, but they're
like
there
like
for an emergency, and then they have events like literally every night, potlucks and bingo and all the things. So it gives them that level of independence, but they're at least, out of the house and stuff. But I don't know, it'll be interesting because I feel like that, obviously, Pierce being the oldest, it's going to be hard for him to go out first if he does, because he'll be like, oh. But
I'm
also
just so excited to be like a cheerleader on their life.
In colleges, I mean, DMAC even has a program for special needs too. I mean,
and I love seeing for Ruby's Rainbow, the Rockin' recipient like reactions, and it's like you see some of the kids that are in sororities and in fraternities and just the community and the belonging and the sense that the kids have in doing the things that they want to do. Like it is possible, and I think that's what it is. And it's great if that's what they want, and it's great if that's what they don't want. Yeah.
And you never want to force something. Like if Pierce is not capable to live on his own, I'm not going to make him go live on his own.
There's a very big balance of like letting them be a kid and the push, right? Because there's a push that comes with a lot of the things we do. Every week Addie has speech therapy, PT, tutoring. And right now it's okay because she loves those things. To her, it's nothing different than going and hanging out with Miss Carrie or going and see Mr. Sam. And sometimes, she has some pushback. And could we set something up every single day for lots of hours to keep her? But I also want her to be a kid. Right. And there has to be a balance between all of that.
And we just recently pulled Pierce, a couple months ago, pulled him out of PT, OT speech because he would just go and he wasn't being collaborative on things that they wanted him to do. And I think this is the time we need to just step back because he's over it. And they're so positive about it. Like we see this happen a lot. We think that we're all on the same page and need that. So
yeah,
but I just come to learn that it doesn't like to learn, and that's okay.
We're working on it.
New place.
We're working on it.
And if we have to pull out because he's getting it at school, it is. It's like we can't have our kids in therapies all the time either.
And so the other side, right, we have all these myths. But I do think that there's a lot of magic in our kids.
Oh,
I tell people
for sure.
all the time, just the magic. And I think the community that they bring is just amazing. The simple joys, the simplicity of life.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Is beautiful.
I agree.
They connect people. They bring out the best in people.
100%. And you'll hear that from a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, so I was going to drop this bomb on you when you said on today's episode we're talking about, because I think I have a new segment for us. All my ideas come to fruition when I'm in the shower and there's no kids at home and I can think for a second. So I was like, oh, I wonder if we should do a segment on the podcast that's like, what the fuck happened this week? So like we call it a
WTF.
Yeah. Like, and so at the beginning of each podcast, we'll talk about it and then we'll go right into what we're talking about. Because then it's like, but then like, what happened this week? I feel like the week was so on the next podcast,
sometimes it's like a WTF on a daily basis. Like, did that just happen? Sometimes I think I live multiple lives in a single day, and I go to tell somebody about it, and I'm like, wait, was that this morning?
Yeah, like, that was like 2 hours ago, right?
Yep. No, today, as a matter of fact, Lisa is leaving the house with Trice to go to, because this is our first year with 3 kids in 3 locations, 3 drop-offs at 3 different times. So Lisa was leaving this morning to take Trice to daycare. Cooper doesn't have preschool on Friday, so he was home with Grandma. I get a phone call, and Lisa's like, hey, Addie's on her bike following me. So Lisa's in her truck going, and Addie just jumped on her bike and decided she was going to ride her bike and follow Mom and brother in the truck.
Independence at the spine right there.
Then I get out, and so she's a block down the street, and I'm like, Addie, and I'm looking at my watch, like, we don't have time for this. I don't have shoes on. I'm still trying to get everything in the car to go take her to school, and I'm like, Addie.
Sounds like she's ready to live on her own.
Oh. And so then she starts coming back, and then she's like, nope, I'm going to go again. And then she turned around and did it. I'm like, okay, we don't have time for this. Okay. And then she came back finally.
Lay the law, Mom. Lay the law.
But then she was also mad because I didn't have her backpack, but her backpack was in Aunt Natalie's car because Aunt Natalie picked her up yesterday, and Aunt Natalie's in Des Moines at work, and so we didn't have her backpack today. And I'm like, sorry.
It's called Chromosomes Chaos.
Okay, emphasis. Heavy on the chaos. Heavy.
I know. Besides Pierce, he loves to pack bags now. So he's like, packs bags inside of bags inside of bags with shit in it. So Ivy had gymnastics last night, and he had to take 2 big bags. He could barely go up the stairs. I'm like, okay, parenting moment. Should I allow, because it's the simple things. If taking 2 bags to gymnastics makes him happy,
lower your expectations.
Go. But from a parent, I'm like, Mom, would I let the other 2 do this? Probably not.
That's fine. We're just going to give grace. Lower expectations, lower the bar, calm down. You know, there I think are a lot of myths and a lot of magic that we could talk about. I mean, I remember when we were pregnant with Addie and, you know, one of the guys that I worked with, and I said that Addie had Down syndrome. And his first response, you know, was, well, don't they have a shorter life expectancy than most? And I was like, oh, I'm going to throat punch you.
God, people.
That might have been the case.
Right.
But society has come so far in so many different ways of inclusion and just awareness. And yeah, sure, a couple decades ago, their life expectancy could have been a lot shorter, and now it's a lot longer because there are so many parents and advocates who have the heart to be the first to say, no, I want my kids included. I'm going to push back. And so 100%. A huge, huge praise and thank you to all of the advocates that have paved the way for us. Trailblazers.
Yeah. I just met someone at pickup. He has a brother that's like 55 or 60 doing great. Like,
I love it.
You know, and you'd love to hear those things and to see all the older Down syndrome people out. That's one thing. I mean, I guess not a lot of the population has Down syndrome, but when you're out, it's like, where are all the Down syndrome people? Kids, give them to me. Give them to me.
Was it 2 years ago, I think? Addie was selected for the National Down Syndrome Society, New York.
Oh, cool.
So her picture was in Times Square, and it was fantastic, and it's something that happens every year. So you can submit your kiddo's picture to be displayed, and so we had never been, and so decided to go to New York, right? Awesome. Oh my gosh, so it's me, Lisa, Addie, Cooper, and I'm, 6 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant? Yeah, with Trice. It was interesting. It was fantastic. It was such a great... And everybody asks me, and I ask people this all the time, like, what is your favorite thing about the trip? And it was the ability for no matter where we went, Addie saw somebody that looked like her.
Yeah.
Babies, children, adults, young couples. They were in our hotel. They were in, Times Square. They were on the ferry at Hudson Park. Every single place that we went, there was somebody with Down syndrome. And that representation is so crucial to see other people that look like you.
On the other side, though, I think it all comes back to they don't care. Like, to some extent, obviously Pierce isn't able to communicate that with me. Yeah. But like the kids at the gym, they just live their best life.
They do.
They're freaking in there dancing, doing their own thing, that I don't think that maybe they have conversations like that with their parents. Obviously, they're not going to talk to a stranger about it. But, I don't know. I don't know if they talk about those things. I think a lot of them, which this is probably a whole nother episode, is they want to date a typical person. And they don't understand that a typical person might not want to date you back, right? So those are conversations I've heard, is that. But then again, they're slim picking when they're looking for Down syndrome people because there's not a lot of them.
Right.
So you can't have
can we betroth our children now? Like Addie and Pierce, let's do it.
Just make them get married? And,
No.
No. I know, but if you think about it, it's like it's hard for those kids to find someone else with Down syndrome around because there's not a lot of kids. Yeah. So that's a whole thing that we're going to have to navigate as the kids get older. Yeah. But it makes you wonder if they do look around.
Addie's never going to date.
No, I don't.
None of my kids know they will, obviously.
No.
Not until you're 18.
Yeah.
Or something.
I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting. But.
Well, we'd love to hear from you. What is something somebody said to you, a myth, misconception, or magic? All right.
All right, guys. Thank you.